First contact gone wrong. The massive Centauri vessel loomed over Earth's orbital defense station like a predator sizing up its prey. Ambassador Chen Wei stood at attention, maintaining her diplomatic composure despite the condescending tone of High Commander Zach Still. The alien's crystalline features reflected the harsh station lights as he examined the human delegation with barely concealed disdain. Primitive propulsion systems, rudimentary energy shields, and projectile-based weapons. Zach Still's translator conveyed his mockery perfectly. The Centauri Alliance expected more from a species claiming to be ready for galactic integration. Chen bit back her initial response. 6 months of first contact negotiations were crumbling before her eyes. The Centauri Alliance, a confederation of 7 advanced species, had discovered Earth through their quantum scanning arrays. Initial communications had been promising, but face-to-face meetings revealed their true nature. They saw humanity as barely evolved primates. With respect, High Commander, Chen replied, humanity has made remarkable technological progress in the past century. We believe we have much to offer the Alliance. Zach Still's crystalline form shifted colors, indicating amusement. Offer? Your species hasn't even mastered basic gravitic manipulation. Your fastest ships would take years to reach even the nearest Alliance outpost. Behind Chen, Admiral James Rodriguez clenched his fists. As head of Earth's Space Force, he'd overseen humanity's military expansion into the solar system. The Centauri's dismissal of their achievement stung, but he knew better than to reveal humanity's true capabilities. The meeting deteriorated further as Zach Still outlined the Alliance's generous terms. Earth would become a protectorate, surrendering control of its military and resource development to Alliance oversight. In exchange, they would receive guidance to advance their civilization to acceptable standards. This is unacceptable, Chen declared, standing her ground. Earth is a sovereign world. We seek alliance as equals, not subjugation. Zach Still's form darkened to deep purple, a sign of irritation. Equals. Your species is barely out of its gravity well. The Alliance has guided dozens of primitive species to civilization. Accept our terms, or remain isolated in your technological infancy. As the Centauri delegation departed, Admiral Rodriguez approached Chen. They have no idea, do they? Chen shook her head, watching the Centauri ship accelerate away. No, and that's exactly how we want it. How's Project Perseus coming along? The quantum fold drive tests exceeded expectations, Rodriguez replied quietly. The Artemis is ready whenever we need her. Let's hope we don't, Chen sighed. But something tells me the Centauri won't leave us alone for long. She was right. Within weeks, Alliance ships began appearing at the edges of the solar system, conducting scientific surveys that seemed more like military reconnaissance. Earth's public defenses appeared primitive and sparse, exactly as intended. In secret, deep within the asteroid belt, humanity's true fleet took shape. The Artemis, humanity's first quantum-fold battleship, represented technologies the Alliance believed impossible for primitive humans to achieve. Its very existence violated everything the Centauri thought they knew about technological progression. Earth's Security Council met in emergency session as reports of Alliance military buildup increased. Chen presented her assessment, they're not here to guide us. The Alliance expands by absorbing or subjugating less advanced species. They've categorized us as easy prey. Then perhaps, Rodriguez suggested, it's time they learned exactly what humanity is capable of. The council chambers erupted in heated debate. Revealing their true capabilities would change everything, but keeping them hidden might prove even more dangerous. As the arguments raged, a priority alert flashed across the main screen. Alliance warships had entered the outer solar system, far more than any survey would require. The time for hiding was over. The Perseus Protocol. Dr. Sarah Patel stood in the observation deck of Ceres Station, watching automated constructors weave quantum crystalline lattices into the hull of humanity's newest warship. The Perseus Protocol, her life's work, had revolutionized human understanding of spacetime manipulation. Not that the Centauri Alliance would believe humans capable of such advancement. Beautiful, isn't it? The voice belonged to Captain Maya Chen, younger sister of Ambassador Chen and the Artemis's commanding officer. Hard to believe we kept this hidden for so long. Sarah nodded, her eyes tracking the ethereal patterns of quantum-fold technology integrating with the ship's systems. 20 years of development, all in secret. The gravitational masking fields alone took 5 years to perfect. The Artemis wasn't just a warship, it was humanity's quantum leap forward. While the Alliance believed humans restricted to primitive rocket propulsion, the Perseus Protocol had unlocked faster-than-light travel through localized spacetime manipulation. More importantly, it had led to breakthroughs in weapons technology that the Alliance considered theoretically impossible. Latest intelligence report, Maya said, holding up a quantum-encrypted tablet. The Alliance fleet at the heliopause has grown to 36 ships. They're not even trying to hide their intentions anymore. Sarah's fingers danced across her own tablet, bringing up technical specifications. The Artemis's systems are fully operational. But Maya, there's something you need to know about the quantum-fold drive. Before she could continue, emergency alerts blared throughout the station. Admiral Rodriguez's voice cut through the chaos, all personnel to battle stations. Alliance ships have crossed the Kuiper Belt boundary. Multiple trajectories calculated, they're heading for Earth. Maya was already moving. We'll have to finish this conversation later, Sarah. The Artemis needs to be ready. That's just it, Sarah called after her. The quantum-fold drive? It's not just a propulsion system. The theoretical applications for weapons are, well, let's just say the Alliance's shields won't know what hit them. Maya paused at the doorway, a slight smile playing across her face. Now that's the kind of science I like to hear. Meet me in the tactical room in 20 minutes. If we're revealing ourselves to the galaxy, we might as well show them everything we can do. Deep within Ceres Station, Earth's military leadership gathered in the quantum-shielded command center. Holographic displays showed the Alliance fleet's approach, a massive show of force meant to cow the primitive humans into submission. Admiral Rodriguez stood before the assembled officers, his expression grim. The Alliance has made their choice. They believe us defenseless, confined to chemical rockets and basic energy weapons. That assumption ends today. He gestured to Sarah, who stepped forward. Dr. Patel, explain to everyone exactly what the Perseus Protocol is capable of. Sarah took a deep breath. The quantum-fold drive doesn't just move ships through space. It manipulates the fundamental fabric of reality. When weaponized, it can create localized pockets of altered spacetime. Imagine a bubble where the laws of physics themselves can be rewritten. The room fell silent as implications sank in. Maya was the first to speak up. You're saying we can literally change how reality works around enemy ships? Precisely, Sarah nodded. Their shields are designed to defend against known forms of energy and matter. They can't protect against local alterations to physical constants. One shot from a quantum-fold weapon could disable their entire fleet without destroying a single ship. Admiral Rodriguez smiled for the first time in days. A demonstration of overwhelming power, but without unnecessary bloodshed. Perfect. He turned to Maya. Captain Chen, prepare the Artemis for launch. Dr. Patel, you're going with her. We'll need your expertise when the Alliance realizes their understanding of physics just got turned upside down. As the command center erupted into activity, Sarah caught Maya's eye. There's one more thing, she said quietly. The quantum-fold technology. It's already affecting human biology. Those of us who work closely with it are changing. Nothing dangerous, but we're evolving. The Alliance isn't just underestimating our technology, they have no idea what humanity is becoming. Maya processed this information with characteristic calm. Well then, Doctor, let's go show them exactly what they're dealing with. I have a feeling this is going to be a very interesting first contact correction. The next few hours were a blur of preparation. The Artemis, humanity's masterpiece of engineering and theoretical physics, was brought to full power for the first time. Its quantum crystalline hull thrummed with energies that the Alliance believed impossible for primitive species to harness. As Sarah integrated the final weapons protocols, she reflected on the irony of the situation. The Alliance's dismissal of humanity had given Earth the time and secrecy needed to develop technologies that would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. Sometimes, she mused, being underestimated was the greatest advantage of all. The Artemis's bridge hummed with barely contained power as Maya took her captain's chair. All stations, report readiness. One by one, her crew confirmed their systems were online. Sarah, now officially designated as science officer, monitored the quantum fold matrices with growing excitement. Everything they'd worked for, every breakthrough and secret test, had led to this moment. Message from Admiral Rodriguez, the communications officer announced. The Alliance fleet has passed Mars orbit. They're demanding Earth's immediate surrender. Maya's smile was predatory. Well then, let's go introduce ourselves properly. Helm, power up the quantum fold drive. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity can really do. The Artemis pulsed once, its hull shimmering with impossible energies, and vanished from normal space. The greatest revelation in galactic history was about to begin, and the Alliance had no idea what was coming. Breaking point. High Commander Zach Still stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Crystal Dominance, watching Earth grow larger on the main viewport. His crystalline form pulsed with anticipation. Another primitive species would soon join the Alliance as a protectorate, whether they wished to or not. Status of the human defenses, he demanded. His tactical officer's report was almost disappointing. Minimal resistance detected. Their orbital platforms use basic kinetic weapons and crude energy shields. Their fleet consists of chemical propulsion vessels, currently gathering near their moon. Zach Still's form shifted to smug violet. As expected. Primitive species are all the same, they overestimate their capabilities until reality forces them to accept their place. Prepare the subjugation protocols. Suddenly, every sensor on the Crystal Dominance screamed alerts. A massive energy signature appeared from nowhere, directly between the Alliance fleet and Earth. The readings were impossible, they indicated power levels that shouldn't exist outside of theoretical physics. High Commander. The science officer's crystalline form had paled to near white. That energy signature, it's manipulating quantum fields in ways our models say are impossible. The impossible energy signature resolved into a single ship. The Artemis hung in space before them, its quantum crystalline hull refracting starlight in ways that hurt to look at. It was smaller than the Alliance vessels, but something about it radiated power that made Zach Still's crystalline form vibrate with instinctive fear. This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth ship Artemis, a calm voice transmitted on all frequencies. Your fleet will proceed no further. The Centauri Alliance's assessment of human technological capabilities was incomplete. Zach Still's form flushed dark purple with rage. One ship. You dare challenge the might of the Alliance with a single vessel? Whatever technology you've managed to steal or scavenge won't save you from Dash. His rant cut off as his tactical officer screamed in panic. The Artemis had shifted, somehow. Reality seemed to bend around it, and suddenly it was simultaneously in 30 different positions relative to the Alliance fleet. On the Artemis's bridge, Sarah Patel monitored the quantum fold matrices with satisfaction. Quantum superposition field stable, Captain. We're existing in multiple probability states simultaneously. Their targeting systems won't know which position is real. Maya nodded, her expression stern. Let's show them what else we can do. Target their flagship's propulsion systems with a localized physics modification. Minimal field strength, this is a demonstration, not an execution. Sarah's fingers danced across her console. The Artemis's main weapon powered up, gathering impossible energies. A beam of pure quantum manipulation lanced out, striking the Crystal Dominance's engine section. On his flagship, Zack still watched in horror as reality itself seemed to hiccup around his engines. The laws of physics locally rewrote themselves, and suddenly his advanced propulsion systems found themselves in a space where their operational principles simply didn't work. Impossible, he raged. No species at your development level could possibly dash. Your understanding of development levels is flawed, Maya interrupted. While you dismissed us as primitives, humanity was breaking through boundaries you thought immutable. The Perseus Protocol doesn't just drive our ships, it lets us redefine local reality itself. To demonstrate, the Artemis fired again. This time, a bubble of altered spacetime enveloped one of the Alliance's heavy cruisers. Inside the bubble, the strong nuclear force weakened slightly. The cruiser's atomic bonds weakened just enough to make its hull flexible like rubber, without causing catastrophic failure. The Alliance crew watched in terror as their mighty warship's hull rippled like water. Nothing in their experience or technology could explain what they were seeing. This is your only warning, Maya continued, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's accumulated knowledge. Earth is not primitive. We are not defenseless. And we are not interested in becoming anyone's protectorate. Sarah's console beeped with new readings. Captain, I'm detecting quantum field fluctuations in their fleet. I think their crew's crystalline bodies are resonating with our technology. They can feel what we're doing to spacetime itself. Indeed, across the Alliance fleet, the crystalline crews were experiencing something unprecedented. The quantum manipulations from the Artemis were affecting their very substance, making them experience reality in new ways. Some were terrified, but others were beginning to understand just how much they had underestimated humanity. Zack Still's form had shifted to a pale, sickly yellow, the color of fear in his species. What are you? Maya's response was calm but carried an edge of steel. We are humanity. We don't steal technology, we innovate. We don't accept arbitrary limits, we break through them. And we don't submit to those who underestimate us, we surpass them. The Alliance fleet hung motionless in space, their mighty weapons suddenly seeming primitive compared to humanity's quantum manipulation technology. Everything they thought they knew about technological progression, about their place in the galaxy, had been appended by a single human ship. The demonstration. The silence in space was deafening. The Alliance fleet hung motionless, their crystalline crews still reeling from the demonstration of humanity's quantum manipulation technology. On the Artemis's bridge, Captain Maya Chen watched the tactical display with careful attention. Dr. Patel, she called, what's the status of their fleet? Sarah studied her readings intently. Their ships are maintaining position, but I'm detecting fascinating quantum resonance patterns in their crystalline crews. It's almost as if they're evolving in response to exposure to our technology. Before Maya could respond, a new signal cut across all frequencies. The voice was unlike any they'd heard from the Alliance before, deeper, more harmonious, as if multiple crystalline beings were speaking in perfect sync. Human vessel Artemis, the voice resonated, we are the Council of Elder Crystals. Your demonstration has forced an unprecedented emergency session. Maya exchanged glances with Sarah. The Elder Crystals were legendary among Alliance species, ancient crystalline beings who supposedly guided the Alliance's expansion. No one had actually seen them in centuries. We acknowledge your audience, Elder Crystals, Maya responded formally. Your species has achieved what we thought impossible, the harmonious voice continued. The quantum manipulation technology you wield, it does not follow the established paths of technological development. Explain. Sarah stepped forward, her scientist's curiosity overtaking protocol. There are no established paths, she declared. That's your fundamental error. You've confined yourselves to a linear progression of technological advancement, blind to alternate possibilities. The quantum sensors detected a ripple of disturbance through the crystalline fleet. Impossible, the elders responded, but there was uncertainty in their harmonic voice. Watch, Sarah said, her fingers dancing across her console. The Artemis's quantum fold drive engaged in a new configuration. Reality bent around the ship, creating a visible demonstration of physics being locally rewritten. Your species categorizes technology into neat tiers, Sarah continued. Propulsion progresses from chemical to ionic to gravitic. Weapons advance from kinetic to energy to plasma. But you never asked, what if we could change the rules themselves? To emphasize her point, she created a small bubble of altered spacetime between the fleets. Inside it, light moved in curves instead of straight lines, creating a mesmerizing display of impossible physics. The Perseus Protocol isn't just technology, she explained. It's a fundamental reimagining of what's possible. And humanity didn't develop it by following your established paths, we developed it by questioning everything you took for granted. Suddenly, alarms blared across the Artemis's bridge. Multiple quantum signatures detected, the sensor officer shouted. Something's happening to the Alliance ships. The crystalline vessels were changing. Their hulls rippled with new patterns, responding to the quantum fields the Artemis had demonstrated. More surprisingly, the crystalline crews themselves were evolving, their forms becoming more complex, more attuned to the quantum nature of reality. Fascinating, Sarah breathed, watching her readings. Our technology isn't just showing them new possibilities, it's catalyzing their own evolution. The crystalline species are naturally quantum sensitive. Exposure to our quantum manipulation is awakening dormant capabilities in their very structure. The voice of the elder crystals returned, but now it was different, richer, more complex, filled with overtones of understanding. We see now. Your species, you are not just users of technology. You are catalysts of change. Maya stood from her captain's chair. That's what humanity has always been, she declared. We don't just adapt to our environment, we reshape it. We don't just overcome obstacles, we change the rules that make them obstacles. A new signal came from the crystal dominance. High Commander Zach Still's form had changed, becoming more faceted, more intricate. Captain Chen, he spoke, his voice carrying new harmonics of respect. We have made a grave error in judging your species. The Alliance has long believed we guided lesser species to civilization, the elder crystals added. But perhaps it is we who needed guidance to break free from our self-imposed limitations. Maya allowed herself a small smile. Then perhaps it's time to discuss a true alliance, not as protectors and protectorates, but as equals. Different species with different strengths, learning from each other. The quantum sensors detected a wave of agreement rippling through the crystalline fleet. Their very substance had been changed by exposure to humanity's technology, awakening them to new possibilities. New balance of power. 1 month after the confrontation near Earth, the Artemis docked at the newly constructed Quantum Nexus Station, a joint human alliance facility orbiting a neutral star system. Captain Maya Chen walked through corridors where humans and crystalline beings worked side by side, the latter's forms now shimmering with complex quantum patterns. Remarkable how quickly things change, Sarah commented, walking beside her. A month ago, they thought we were primitives. Now they're learning quantum physics from us while teaching us about crystalline consciousness. They entered the main conference chamber, where representatives from Earth and the Alliance gathered around a table designed to accommodate both biological and crystalline forms. High Commander Zach Still, his form now a complex lattice of quantum-sensitive crystal, inclined in greeting. The early results of our collaboration exceed all projections, he announced, his voice carrying harmonics of excitement. The integration of human quantum manipulation technology with crystalline quantum sensitivity has opened paths none of us imagined possible. Ambassador Chen, Maya's sister, smiled diplomatically. And how are the other Alliance species responding to these changes? With varying degrees of shock and adaptation, the voice of the Elder Crystals resonated through the chamber. Their combined consciousness now existed in a quantum state that bridged normal space and the reality-bending fields humanity had mastered. Many held the same prejudices we did about technological progression. All are being forced to reevaluate their assumptions. Sarah pulled up a holographic display showing the spread of quantum field influence throughout Alliance space. Everywhere human ships traveled, they left behind traces of altered reality that the crystalline species naturally absorbed and adapted to. Evolution was accelerating across the galaxy. "We've detected some interesting developments," Sarah reported. "The quantum resonance isn't just affecting the crystalline species. Other Alliance races are showing subtle changes in response to exposure to our technology. It's as if humanity's ability to manipulate reality is awakening dormant potential in all species. Perhaps that is humanity's true role in the galaxy," one of the Elder Crystals suggested. "Not as a primitive species to be guided, but as catalysts of change and evolution. Your very presence challenges the established order and forces growth." Maya watched the holographic display, showing hundreds of points where human and Alliance ships now work together. "We never wanted dominance," she said. "We just wanted the freedom to develop in our own way, to explore possibilities others thought impossible. And in doing so, you've freed us from our own limitations," Zack still acknowledged. The old Alliance sought to impose order through a rigid hierarchy of technological advancement. The new Alliance will be different, a true collaboration of species, each bringing unique perspectives and abilities. Ambassador Chen leaned forward. "There are still challenges ahead. Not all species will welcome such rapid change. Some may see humanity's influence as a threat rather than an opportunity." "Let them come," Maya said confidently. "The Artemis was just our first quantum-fold ship. Earth's shipyards are producing more, each incorporating new advances from our collaboration with the Alliance. Any species that chooses conflict over cooperation will find themselves facing not just humanity, but an Alliance transformed by quantum evolution." Sarah's console beeped with new data. "Speaking of evolution," she said excitedly, "I'm detecting novel quantum field configurations forming spontaneously in Alliance space. The changes we initiated are becoming self-sustaining. The galaxy itself is beginning to change in response to the possibilities we've unveiled." The Elder Crystals resonated with approval. "This is just the beginning. Together, we will explore realms of science and existence that none of us could have reached alone. The age of rigid hierarchy is over. The age of quantum possibility has begun." As the meeting continued, Maya stepped to the observation window, watching ships of multiple species maneuvering with technologies that blended human innovation with Alliance expertise. The sight filled her with pride, not just in humanity's achievements, but in what they'd accomplished by refusing to accept arbitrary limitations. A month ago, the galaxy had dismissed humanity as primitives barely worth noticing. Now, they had become the catalyst for a transformation that would reshape civilization itself. Not through conquest or domination, but through humanity's greatest strengths, innovation, adaptation, and the relentless drive to push beyond established boundaries. The Artemis hung in space beyond the window, its quantum crystalline hull now enhanced by Alliance technology. It was no longer just a warship, it was a symbol of what was possible when different species chose cooperation over conflict, innovation over tradition, and growth over stagnation. As Maya watched, a new ship emerged from quantum-fold space, the first vessel jointly designed by human and Alliance engineers. Its hull rippled with possibilities, its very existence defying the old rules of technological progression. The future would not be defined by who was most advanced, but by who was most willing to embrace change and grow beyond their limitations. The galaxy would never be the same. And humanity, once dismissed as primitive, had become the architects of that change.